All right, everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today, we're going to be replacing the shocks on my 2022 Mahindra Roxor. So if you're thinking about changing the shocks on your Mahindra, you may want to watch this vehicle. I did a ton of research, and it's been relatively difficult to find part numbers, compatible shocks without expending a fortune on the Bilsteins that we all see. By the way, the Bilsteins have excellent reviews, but they're literally $600 for this particular vehicle right here, and I didn't want to drop that kind of money right now. So I picked up a set of KYB KG5473 shocks. By the way, I'll put a link to these. I bought them on Amazon. They were a little over $50. Shipped to me was right at $200, so about a third the cost of the Bilsteins that a lot of people are selling for these particular vehicles. By the way, these are a gas-filled shock, so that's excellent. And what a lot of people are saying is these factory Mahindra shocks right here are doing practically nothing. There is very little compression and zero rebound on them. So we're gonna test that today. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna replace these. I've already did some recording on a washboard area of road with these and kind of shot some footage inside the vehicle. So we're gonna swap these out aftermarket here and see if we get any ride improvement. Now at the end of the day, you gotta keep in mind this is a leaf spring vehicle with solid axles. I'm not expecting a buttery smooth UTV type of ride right here. But if the factory shock absorbers are doing nothing, and it appears that seems to be the case by a lot of people's reviews, well, I want to replace them. And again, I'm trying to do it on a budget right here. I should also mention, we're going to find out in this video, these KG5473s, these work with a factory non-lifted Roxor, or in my case, if you have the Rough Country 2-inch leveling kit, it will work with those, and here's the reason why. All right, so my Roxor is lifted 2 inches, and if you take a peek up here up front, you see that bottom bracket that the shock is bolted into. That is a lift bracket that's provided with the Rough Country lift right there. So it just positions the factory shock up a couple of inches to offset the lift that we have and allows you to continue to use factory shocks. So since mine is technically lifted but still has the ability to use factory size shocks, that's why I went with the KG5473s. If you have a different lifted Roxor of different heights or a different kit that doesn't have those shock relocation brackets, well, you're gonna need a longer shock in the front. And I don't have those specs. You'll have to measure those out, figure them out yourself, or buy the Bilstein 5125 shocks from places like Diesel Freaks. They sell a lot of stuff for these online, and they already have the longer shocks figured out. But again, you're gonna spend 3 times the amount of money, but you are getting a better shock. All right, so here we are underneath. I just jacked the front end up and remove the tire. It doesn't even look like you honestly have to remove the tire. You can get underneath here and work, but it's just gonna make things a whole lot easier without having to crawl under the vehicle. By the way, the lug nuts, yours could be different because I have aftermarket rims. Those were 19 millimeter, and the nuts holding in the shock mounts appears to be an 18 millimeter. Now don't forget, down here I have to deal with this bracket that has a much larger bolt up top. This should just pull right off because there apparently is no rebound on these factory shocks. Yep, pulled off, no problem. Let's figure this bottom out. All right, it's a tight fit, this bolt through this rubber bushing, but don't forget, you won't have this lift bracket if you're dealing with a stock non-lifted Roxor. It only comes with the Rough Country lift. All right, now we should be able to get the shock out. Really tight fit. I should also mention I'm hearing a loud squeaking and squealing noise. It sounds like rubber grinding and popping underneath whenever I'm going over a lot of bumps and off-road, and I just about can guarantee you it's this rubber right here rubbing top and bottom. So hopefully that noise goes away with new shocks as well. All right, so here's the factory shock removed. Zero rebound, nothing. Quite easy to push down, will not rebound itself. These are pretty well worthless, as I kind of figured. I don't even know why they're putting these on from factory because everybody seems to be experiencing the same thing. By the way, my Roxor has 2,000 miles on it. Nothing. These should not be worn out like this. I have a feeling this is the exact way they come. Now the KYBs you're going to see comes with a strap right here. These will have rebound when I cut the strap. And from what a lot of people are saying online is you can go ahead and get the bottom on and in, get this toward the top, cut the strap. As this slowly goes up, be ready to push it over the top stud. If you miss the stud, wrap this again with a ratchet strap and you can compress this back, get it fit on, then release the ratchet strap. They should be very easy to install. Sorry, I just realized I'm getting some light flicker from my LED light. Not really a whole lot I can do about that. It's just all about the frame rate on the camera. This bracket is so tight, I can't even near about get this in, so I'm gonna have to separate this bracket a little and we'll pinch it back together with this bolt. All right, that should separate that enough to get our shock in. It did. We'll tighten all that back down and pinch it back together here in a second. All right, these are actually not quite compressed enough from factory. I'm gonna see if I can get them compressed by hand and on. That may be a bit difficult. Nope, I was able to do it. And now we can cut this strap off. Perfect. Definitely a lot more rebound and tension on these in the factory. And the factory had none. All right, this is very straightforward, y'all. I'm just gonna tighten the top and bottom nuts up, put my tire and wheel back on, repeat this step on the other side since it's identical, and I'll meet y'all on the back to where it's a little bit different of a process. We'll get it figured out. All right, when it comes to the back, you're gonna have to come underneath. Looks like I'm gonna need to jack this up to make room for me and my creeper. But you can see here's the bottom shock mount. No point in removing the tire for this one. And there's the top up there. And this will pull out from the inside, not from the outside by the tire itself. There's that upper shock mount. Both look like 18mm bolts again. All right, let's take a look at everything installed and the real test. Let's go run it and see if we can feel a difference. So here's the front shots. Let's take a look at the rears, if you can even see them. All right, I'm gonna show y'all some before footage right here of a little spot I just run down the road. I ran it yesterday afternoon, so the conditions haven't changed. Has potholes, a little bit of washboard. We have much rougher roads around here, but it's a lot longer ride to them. This is only within a few miles of the house, and I can go get a quick feel for this, and I'm gonna be as honest as I absolutely can about this. So let's go. All right, so we're coming up on a spot up here that has holes in the road and some washboard going on. This will be a good spot to test because it always catches my attention, kind of shakes the vehicle around. So I'm gonna run 25 miles an hour, and I'm gonna keep the camera right here to where you can watch the gear shifter, watch the phones up here, and watch the steering wheel mainly, and you can kind of pay attention to the windshield. We'll look at how violent this is before changing the shocks, and we'll check it out after. All right, we're coming up on the area right now, so let's see what happens. Definitely bouncing us around pretty good. And I've got some washboard up here a little bit. So we're coming up on a a section of road here that gets really rough. I've already rode about 1.5 miles to get here, and I can say I feel like it is smoother. I feel like the bumps that I have hit on the way are dampened, smoothed out, don't have those sharp, just jar you in the back hits. But it's honestly very hard to say because, well, when you invest time and money in something like this, mentally you want it to work out. But the real test is right up here. This is the roughest section close to me. And again, we're going to do some wheeling off-road here next week or two. That's about 15 miles away and it has horrible roads. All right, so let's watch the steering wheel and gear shifter. We're going 25 like we were yesterday. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Offhand, I feel like that was a lot smoother. I really do. Yeah, it's still a leaf spring suspension. It still rides rough. Here's another little section. Definitely smoother. I ride this section almost every afternoon. All right, so no doubt, I can definitely tell the difference. I feel like the upgrade was worth it. That was a real quick, easy install. I thought relatively affordable for what you get. Time's gonna tell how happy we are with it. We're gonna have to go ride this and put several hundred miles on it. But I'm already coming back down this road. I'm about to speed up and go back through that section faster than I normally do. And let's feel it. But I'm hitting bumps right now while I'm talking to you. These are just relatively rough country roads. I really feel like this is soaking it up so much better than factory. As it should, because the factory shocks were not working, as we can clearly see. They still haven't rebounded. They're fully collapsed back at the house right now. All right, I'm gonna go a little faster. There's a little bit of washboard right here. Nothing. Soaked it up like nothing. And this is that real rough section that I've been going 25. Now I'm going a little over 30. Definitely still a little rough, but nothing like it was before. All right, I am definitely satisfied. All right, y'all, just want to let you know, we've been out riding around. I forgot to bring my GoPro. I'm just recording this real quick on my phone. We have hit so many rock-filled mud holes on these county roads here that are normally very rough, where I'm talking 2 to 3 inch size rock in it, swells, potholes, everything. Me and my wife back there both 100% agree the ride has dramatically improved. Now we've got miles and miles on these shocks, and I can honestly say 100% worth the upgrade. I highly recommend them. I really do.